I like little marker points, and this is one of those. I'm in a little village called Borth. Just down the end of the street here is the old railway station, built probably 160 years ago or something like that. This is the epitome, I think, of a country station, where one platform, an ornate canopy over the top, and a train every now and again when it sort of feels like it. But you can imagine holidaymakers arriving here and coming for their excited holidays and thinking, ooh, I can hear the gulls on the seaside. And then coming to probably stay in a guest house or something similar, like these beautiful, colourful homes along here. It's really something. They're built especially for all the squillions of people who came to visit lovely Borth. But Borth is about as far north as you can get in Ceredigion, in central Wales. This is really coming to the dividing point between central and northern. On those cliffs over there, that's down to Aberystwyth. I'm going to turn around this way. And beyond that, you're in northern Wales. So, a special point on my circumnavigation. Hello to North Wales. I've stopped my bike here. I'm having a little pause a moment because this is the Dyfi estuary. It's the mighty river that cuts central Wales in half. This little railway line here is what connects central Wales, Aberystwyth, with the rest of Wales and with England. It's a point to stop and ponder and think, yeah, you're halfway through this country and you're looking at the mountains that are just magnificent, wreathed in mist this afternoon. And it's going to be my painting tonight. What makes me stop? When I see something, and I've seen something today. I've seen more bluebells than I've ever seen in my life. It's amazing. A gorgeous flat light today, so the bluebells are at their peak. I just pedalled up here through them. Here is an absolutely extraordinary, utterly gorgeous field of bluebell. Standing here, I can smell the gorgeous bluebells. We don't think of bluebells as having much of an aroma, but they really do. It's very strong today, and it reminds me of that lovely sonnet by William Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a stay. It reminds me that springtime in Britain is the best season of all. Aren't we lucky? Oh yes! I'm pedalling down this lane. It's known as the Happy Valley. Isn't that a great name? The Happy Valley? There's a happy motorist coming up the Happy Valley. He's missing out on something. He's missing out on the soundtrack of this valley. So there's little sheep here, because in this field there are sheep and cows mixing in together. There's a little bit of breeze this morning, just a tiny bit, taking the edge off the temperature. All around in this happy valley it is green. Green, green, green. Wow! That makes it Happy Green Valley! What a gorgeous sound. It's the sound of a little engine. Just puffing, panting, thinking about doing something exciting. I'm at the Talyllyn little railway. That's where the big train comes in, and then the little train goes out here. It's quite absorbing, isn't it? Two of them, nice and cramped in there. They've got a view to wave them off. Yep, it's definitely having a wee. That's an impressive whistle. Another whistle, please. Another whistle. Important thing to do is to wave. Send our love to Daddy. And we all waved happily ever after. Right, I'm going to finish my soup now. I'm always on the lookout for somewhere to paint, to see if I can capture this scene. And I've come down this road here and I've seen this view. Ooh, wow, that's the little railway line, and here comes the train. It's come from Mawddach and it will head down to Machynlleth and then on to Shrewsbury and to Birmingham. But this is a big wide expanse of beach, and it's a very popular place for tourism and for holiday makers. And I thought to myself, well, it's quite a quiet road. I wonder if I can paint a picture here. So this is what I've done. I put in the beach, the mountains wreathed in smoke. I really ought to have that train in, oughtn't I? Yes, in fact I will. I'll put the train in. So I painted the train in, and oh, hang on, I've got a caterpillar walking across my painting. That's little caterpillar. Are you going to come onto my hand or are you going to stay on the picture? Well, that's a little unusual. Anyway, there is Barmouth and the bridge, which I'm going to go down and cycle across now. Yay! Painted on the edge of a cliff with traffic going past. I've been looking forward to this. There's the depot for any engineering works that need doing on this. Clearly there needs to be quite a bit done. There's some heavy cranes here. This is the Barmouth Bridge, and there's some pedestrians coming over, so I'll wait my turn. It's a popular bridge. They've had to do quite a lot of work to the railway line part, just the other side here. This was damaged in recent storms. This bit used to move to let boats up the river. Wow, what a feat of engineering. It's amazing. Ooh, And here we come to the important bit. Please pay the troll. Ooh, the honesty troll. I love his mouth. Right, we better put some money in. Here you go. I'll put a bit in here. Thank you very much for letting me cross your bridge. Yes. My Mrs. Mallet has a bit of a phrase. She's Australian, you see. If she wants to say something about me, she'll say, "You're a bit of a dag." A dag. Do explain to me, darling, what exactly is a dag? Well, a dag is this. It's the bit of plop that hangs off the back of a sheep's bum. This, or this, or this. That's a dag. It's quite noisy considering their tiny little wavelets, but it's a beautiful soundtrack. And this lovely flat light, it's just joyous. I'm enjoying this very much. I like the mist on the hills over here. Welsh mountains. That's the Mawddach estuary down there. You cycle up to Dolgethley, Barmouth, and then look at these mountains that are right behind the town. And my hotel. Very... Oh! I wasn't looking! That serves me right! Oh, bother! When I get to the hotel where I'm going to stay, my first question is always, have you got somewhere secure for the bike to be locked up tonight? And last night it was locked up with a beer barrel and a spare toilet. Good morning! It's a misty morning in Barmouth, and I've had a few questions about the bike. So, I'm just going to show you the dashboard on my bike. Right, I've got a controller here which measures up the 5 different rates on the bike. So I can have it off, TimmEEE mode, Eco, where the range is 107 miles, Touring, 80 miles, Active, that's 68, Sport, that's 61, and the top speed over here, that gives me a range of 45 miles. And my route today is going to take me about 57 kilometres, which is, what, 35 miles or so. I've got kilometres on there, and I've got miles on here. That's because I'm bilingual! I can speak both languages, and I like to measure it that way. I've got 4 bells. There's a chance people might get out of the way if they hear those. I've also got a little kid's watch I picked up the other day. I put that on there. I thought that was rather a nice thing, so I always know what the time is. Favourite thing on my dashboard will be this. Yeah, the rear view mirror. So I haven't got to crane my neck all the time to see if there's a car coming up behind. And if I see a vehicle in the back there, what I do is I don't pull into the lay-by, because then cars always speed up as I go past. I just indicate. Just put a little indication out like that, and then they know they can pass me, and that seems to work okay. Got my gear shifters here and here. That's for the 2 cogs there and the 10 cogs at the back. 10, yeah, I've got loads of gears. I guess some of them duplicate themselves, but it seems to be enough options there. That's how the dashboard works on my TimmEEE bike. Now that is a challenge. 40%. That is a real big challenge. I'm Timmy Mallet, and I'm attempting to cycle around the coast of Britain. Today, I'm in Harlech. There's the castle on top of the hill. And next to me is a rather ominous sign, the world's steepest street. Yep, it's been officially recognised by the Guinness World Records. It's the steepest street in the world at 37.45%. I've got a TimmEEE bike. My challenge today is to see if I can pedal up the steepest street in the world. Wish me luck. The first thing to do is to drop the gears and up the cadence, and then see how I go with 25 kilos on the back. Is it possible? On the first hairpin, here's the second. Hear me panting. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Boys and girls, Mallet has done it. Officially the steepest street in the world. And I've just pedalled up it. How do I feel? Epic. Beyond epic. Harlech Castle, one of the dream castles that ring Wales, built by Edward I a squillion years ago, and they knocked it up in 6 years. 6 years? How long does it take to build HS2? I know, it's extraordinary. Anyway, it sits here on the cliff top and looks out right across the bay. The mountains of Snowdonia are somewhere in the far distance, and can't quite see them today. They're wreathed in mystery. This is a lovely place to come. There's a rocky outcrop here, and I've put the bike just behind there and clambered down through the brambles and come and set myself up here, because this is where artists have come over the years. Turner would certainly have stood here about 200 years ago, and he would have sketched it like I've done. In my sketchbook I have put in Harlech Castle. I've also put in the more modern chimney pots down the front down here, because I think they add something to it, and then the way that the mountains disappear into the distance. And this is how our artists have worked over the years. You know, they do a sketch and then they work up from the sketch. These days, of course, you can use photos as well. And tonight I shall, in my studio, which will be my room in a hotel somewhere, work on a larger version of Harlech Castle in this iconic setting. There's another artist who painted this, John Cotman. You'll see his name actually on boxes of watercolours, Cotman watercolours. His paintings were very famous around a similar time to Turner. He was part of the Norwich school. He's very famous in East Anglia. But he came because Turner came on this grand tour of Wales and sketched here. And you think, yeah, he probably stood right here, you know, came down these rocks, stood here and thought, yeah, that's a nice view. What's for lunch now? This castle, of course, is also an inspiration for a song. Man of Harlech onward marching, blah 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 blah. A famous song instigated during the Wars of the Roses, when this was a Lancastrian stronghold and all around were the Yorkists besieging it. And to give them a sense of nobility and fortitude, they sang that song. It's great. I love the fact it's lasted another 600 years. Great, isn't it? Almost as long as Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. Yeah, that's going to last that long, isn't it?